Hey, how's it going, everybody? I got my brakes done here. Excuse me. I was gonna do a little video. I don't even know why I do videos, to be honest with you. There's only a few people that watch them, but I hope I can meet a few people on here. But it don't seem like anybody really cares. But anyway, here's what I mean. I did a video already. I'm replacing this hose here. I may or may not show it. I don't know. Anyway, I took the fit in here. I had to grab it with the channel locks here. They didn't have a big enough wrench. On the old one, even the new one, I didn't really tear it up. I was real careful with it. And there's a little nut here. Just took that nut off. I had to reuse that nut. When I took this loose, it was dripping, so I had to take me a stick and clean all the bark off of it, put it up in there, and it helped. It didn't drip as bad. It really didn't leak nothing out of the master cylinder. Anyway, I tied it in here and had a couple of copper O-ring looking things, and I cleaned them up with the emery cloth stuff. And then I replaced my brakes. These don't look too bad. There's a little bit of a, if you look right here, there's a little bit of a pit, but the rest of this is fine. It's not, it feels nice and smooth. And it'll do good for a while anyway. These are semi-metallic pads, so they should be doing fine. You want to go by the thickness of these. You don't want them to be too thin here. And okay, and then I did a video. I don't know if like I say, I don't know if I'm gonna show this video about this. I probably will. It's on there, but I put it in private for now. But anyway, the video I put on here with these, if you look even, and I shouldn't have sprayed on the side probably, but hold on. Yeah, it took me a little while to find it. This brake quiet and stuff. It's a spray like an aerosol can. I guess there's your item number. 877. Anyway, it's basically empty. I've used it through the years quite a bit, but sprayed them real good. But I don't know that I should have sprayed them right on the side like I did, but it really does work good. I'm just trying to say it works really well. And I know a lot of people buy the tubes, and I can understand if you don't have the money to buy this, but it does cost a little more. But it just puts a really nice even coat. You can put like 10 coats on there. I don't know if I put that many, but I put quite a few. And I mean, I can put my finger on it, and it's still sticky. It's been like 2 weeks, and it's still sticky. And there's nothing on my hand now, but it gets. I mean, I don't drive this truck all the time. I drive a Mitsubishi Galant, but anyway, the cylinder thingy that's up in here. You have to use a C-clamp and clamp it down. Here's what I use right here. And that handle is just really sucky when it comes to this. I had to use my channel locks right in that area right there. Because it not being an actual one with a handle on it, it would have been a little better if it hadn't had the handle on it, where you actually have the T-bar to it, where you can really get some pressure, but where that cylinder. So I mean, when you're doing brakes, that's the hardest part, is getting that stupid thing pushed back. But you have to do your bleeder. It's back in this area. I don't know if I can even show it, but back in this area, there's a bleeder screw, and take that bleeder screw out, or it won't push back. Now I did the brakes on both sides. I didn't replace the hose on both sides, because evidently I replaced the hose on the other side back like 20 years ago. And these were under warranty. They were lifetime warranty, and I had my receipt, luckily, because Advance doesn't keep up with your stuff in the computer. You have to have a receipt. So I got my brakes. Now back then I had them turned. I didn't have them turned this time. I don't know how much longer I have this truck. It's 83. I may have it forever, but if I have to replace these brakes again, and then the thing about the warranty is if it's even, they usually have no problem with it. But if it's some kind of crazy looking shit, sometimes they don't want to warranty it. But anyway, they look really good. When I took them back, they were down to nothing, but they were real even and everything. Next time, if I do the brakes on this, I'll probably go ahead and replace these. And since I wasn't replacing these, I just used some sandpaper, some really high grit sandpaper, and just sandpapered it real good, and it's fine. It's the thickness of these and stuff like that. This is to get me by for a little while. Anyway, one thing I recommend is sanding these. And that's how you take the brakes out. You take this out, you got a special tool. Here's the wrench right here, or a special tool, whatever. You put it up inside there, and it takes that screw out. And you take that. There's another one right down here. You take that one out. And that's what takes this whole piece off. And, but like I said, you got to push the cylinder in with that clamp. Anyway, you want to clean these up real good. You want to get all the rust and stuff off of them. So I get all that. And then it greases up real good. That's why you see grease all over. Then you want to make sure your O-rings. There's an O-ring right here. There's an O-ring right here. You want to make sure they're still good. And mine probably need replacing, but this is just kind of a brake job for temporary, maybe a few more miles. I'm not sure how much longer I'm gonna have this truck. But there's another little piece right here that kind of sits in here. It's only this little short little thing. You clean that up and grease that up real good and everything. And then of course, you tighten it back down when you're done. But you won't get these brakes in there, because the thickness of these right here is so thick, and then the thickness in the back, the thickness of these two, you won't get the new brakes in unless you push that cylinder. The cylinder, you probably can't see it, but the little cylinder pushes up against that back brake right there. It pushes against that back one. This one just kind of floats up in there. But if you don't get that pushed in there, pushed it back in there, that's the hardest part of doing brakes, is getting that stupid cylinder done. Anyway, but I also realized, this side was 40 years old. This is a 40-year-old truck. And the other side I done replaced a while back. I think what happened was on the other side, the reason why I replaced that side was the fact that I dropped it. It was back when I first started doing brakes, and I dropped it. I dropped this. You really want to hang this up with like a wire or something, like put a wire up in here and then hang it, when you're working on it. Because if you ever drop it, it'll mess up these hoses. So the other side, when I first started doing brakes, I must have dropped it. That must have been when I replaced that hose over there. But it was done, a while back, about 20 years ago or something like that. But anyway, I replaced this side because it was 40 years old and it had a bad spot right down in here, just wear. And then I just realized recently, there's two hoses in the front. There's one on this side, one on that side, and then in the back of the vehicle, there's only one hose. So I just realized I've never replaced that hose. So I need to get off my ass and take care of that. So that'll be one of my projects. Anyway, right now I'm just trying to get back on the street because, I started out with, trying to check the brakes, and then I realized this hose needed doing, so I did that, took care of all that. Anyway, on average, this hose was $10 in free shipping, and somebody had my best offer, so, I put $6.50 in there, and they took it, Honestly, I didn't think they would take it. I was just trying to start negotiating. I figured they'd, take a buck or two off, but anyway, I mean, this hose is probably 25 bucks or something at auto parts store. So you want to, get on eBay and get your parts. I buy all my parts on eBay unless it's something I bought years ago and it's lifetime warranty, blah blah. And anyway, another thing you gotta do, of course, if you replace a hose, especially. You want to bleed the brakes. So what you want to do is you want to take that bleeder screw out and have some. Of course, you don't want to take that bleeder screw out first. You want to pump the brakes. You have somebody in there pumping the brakes, and then you take that, you loosen that bleeder screw, and then the pedal will go away the floor. Okay, you do that maybe like 2 or 3 times or whatever. Two's probably enough, because you push this. You had to open up that bleeder screw to push the cylinder in right here. So then you got to pump it. But then you make sure you go back up to the master cylinder and make sure you got plenty of fluid in there. You want to mess up on that. You want to make sure you always got fluid in the master cylinder. But anyway, after the 2 times, then check that. Put the fluid in there. Put the cap back on too. Don't leave the cap off, because when somebody's pumping in there, it can squirt fluid out. So anyway, then you do the other side, same thing 2 times, whatever, and check the fluid. Make sure and then when you're done with everything, make sure you're level and all that stuff, and then fill it back up. But just so you understand, you pump it 2 times, a couple of times, 2, 3 times, whatever, in there on the paddle. With this tight, this has to be tight, okay? And then you loosen this up, and that person in there does not do anything but push it to the floor, and then leave it at the floor, leave the pedal at the floor, and then you tighten this back up, and then they let loose in there and on the inside. Don't let loose on the inside until this one is tight. Okay, and then once you get that fluid out of there, you're good to go. You bled out, But this, with replacing the hose, you might want to do it 3 times, 3 or 4 or whatever. Make sure you get all that air out of there. And the other side, I had to push the cylinder. I did it twice over there, and I did it like 3 or 4 times over here. I can't remember now. I did it yesterday. But anyway, and this is some fluid I had. Most of them will say .3 or 4. I have been known to find brake fluid at the Dollar Tree. I don't know. My AutoZone's probably the reason I got this. I don't even buy stuff from AutoZone like this. The reason I got this is, from a rental property I had, and somebody was throwing, they didn't throw it out, but anyway, when I cleaned out their crap, it was in there. So I keep stuff like this, and anyway, so it was free. So I did this whole brake job. This was free. Changing brakes out. They were lifetime warranty. This cost me $6.50, and this I already had. So I did all this work for nothing, for basically nothing. So, I mean, this is what my channel is about. I can't stress it enough. It's about saving money. And yes, normally, you probably want to turn this. The worst spot was just that little bit right there, and I can barely even really feel it. The other's a weird spot right there that goes all around, but really, there's nothing, and that's not anything right there. I sand them real good. I spun this, real good, and everything, and use some high grit sandpaper. All right, I'm about to get to the end of my video. I don't have much time on my clock. Talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Bye bye. Love everybody.